what's going on? Okay, we decided to move to one of the famous poets from Iran, Hakim Omar Khayyam. And tonight, what we're gonna do actually? We're gonna just drink wine. Because
here we are.
everything we're gonna share about him and his poetry is
drink wine,
be happy,
and also like drink wine with your beloved. That's the other thing.
Oh yeah,
drink wine with your beloved. Enjoy life. You know,
it's so weird. I can't see myself.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, we're still getting everything set up. I'm gonna share this.
I love this color, but not that color. Wait.
Okay,
so yeah, it's about drinking wine tonight, and we're gonna talk about his poet a bit. And yeah, share stories, and then as always we're gonna just share one of Kamran's poem, and then I translate that poem in Farsi, and then we go.
Cool. So we're still just getting everything set up, just making sure everyone knows, you know, what we're doing. Okay, so I'm just trying to move that there. All right.
Salam شکوفه جان. مرسی که اومدی. رضا سلام. And who else?
Yeah, I haven't seen. Sorry, sometimes we see the comments, sometimes we don't. So if you comment, we do see it later if we miss it. But thank you for joining us.
Yeah, شکوفه. Yeah, do you remember شکوفه?
Yes. Yeah. So, well, I suppose. Oh, I see Roya. Hi, Roya.
سلام رویا چطوری؟
So Roya's in Sweden. What time is it in Sweden?
Yeah, she's my sister. Oh, it should be like 12 o'clock, I think.
Like
middle of the day.
Middle of the day. Yeah. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Have a glass of wine for lunch. Yeah. I'm sure that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right. Okay. I'm going to do the official intro now. I'll just make sure everything's on. We're recording. We've got poems. We've got wine. We've got our book of Khayyam, Omar Khayyam. Okay. So here we are. Welcome to the Persian and the poet. Okay. You should do a little welcome in Farsi.
سلام به همه. مرسی همه که اومدین و دارین ما رو نگاه میکنین هر جای دنیایی که هستین و ما رو از ملبورن میبینین.
Oh, salamati.
Salamati.
Yeah. So here we are. So we've got a poem by me that Ramak has translated. We'll start with that. And then we're going to do some of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I don't know, it might be 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. And the thing we want to say about Omar Khayyam, like we are not experts, you know, in ancient Persian literature. We just love poetry and we love words. Okay, so we, you know, I've only just really been researching about Omar Khayyam, just finding out about him. It's been really fascinating. So we're not coming across as experts at all, but we're just like, hey, we're lovers of poetry, and this is beautiful, incredibly thoughtful poetry. So, but let's start with my poem.
Yeah, I will start before that. Can I say hello to Ches and John? Thanks for watching us.
Hi guys.
های سلام تو امتیس میدونم داره ما رو میبینه و yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Kamran Semmens.
Oh, yeah, do we need to say our names? Maybe we should.
Oh.
Okay, I'm Kamran Semmens and I'm a poet.
Yeah, and I am Ramak Bamzar, who I am.
And you're a Persian. You're a Persian.
Oh, I'm a Persian version of this.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. You're the Persian and I'm the poet. This is the Persian and the poet. So got to make that dramatic.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this now, I think what we'll do is I'll do my original version in English, and then Ramak will do her translation in Farsi. And this was the first poem of mine that you translated. Is that right?
Yeah, this is the first one.
Wow, which is lovely. And look, I feel a bit insecure sharing this poem because I've been reading, you know, Omar Khayyam, and I'm just like, oh man, so many beautiful words that are so deep, and I'm like, I feel, you know, what are my little words? But hey, these are my feelings. It's my poem that I wanted to share and express.
And it's a beautiful one. It's a really nice one. I love this poem.
Okay, all right, thank you. So, but I am feeling insecure. But anyway, I do hope you appreciate it and enjoy it. It's called The Father of Butterflies. How strange it is to be the one who gives butterflies. Beautifully strange. There is an iridescence to this moment. A shaft of light that reaches between the trees to press its dainty finger into the very corner of your eye. A flash of feeling just for me. How strange. There are little wings within you, lifting and stirring the still and secret air of your heart. May you delight in these butterflies, their flash of colour, their sense of spring, as I delight in the strangeness of being the father of butterflies.
And here the translation in Farsi. اسم شعر هست پدر پروانه ها. چه غریب است که تو آنی باشی که پروانه می دهد. غریبانگی زیبا. چه لحظات بیتابی. تناوب نور بین درختان. فشار انگشتان ظریفت روی انتهایی ترین کنج چشمانت. و شعله احساسی فقط برای من. چه غریبانه. در هوای خاموش و رمزآلود قلبت پروانه ها با بالهای کوچکشان بال و پر میزنند و تو سرخوش از داشتن پروانه ها، درخشش رنگهایشان و وجدشان از بهاری. در حالی که من غریبانه حیرانم از پدر بودن. پدر پروانه ها.
Well, thank you for that. And so it's called the father of butterflies. But what is it? I know it's father of butterflies in Farsi. Could you tell me?
پدر پروانه ها. پدر means father and پروانه in Farsi means butterfly. So.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Wow.
Yeah, it's a small poem, but it's beautiful. You know, this is actually the poem he wrote it for me. So, and, yeah, I should say that. So, and this is the first poem I translated to Farsi, and I think I'm happy with translation, and it's such a like the emotion inside this poem. I can totally feel it, and I think. Why it was successful, because I could feel it and I could just use the right words to express those feelings. And yes, I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah.
Is it nice? Is there something about bringing it into your home language that makes it you feel it differently?
Oh, yes. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I realized that whenever you know, when he's having a new poem and he does share it to me, I just I love that poem, but when I translate it, I go to the details and just, you know, playing with the words. And because, you know, obviously like some words in English have different meanings, and when you just pick the right word has got the right meaning, in Farsi, it's just like gives you a deep meaning, deep understanding of that poem. And it's just like, oh my God, that was mean that actually.
Yeah.
So it's really beautiful, and I do really like it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just sure that when it comes into your language, I mean, these words that you've lived with all your life, these Farsi words, they're going to have just a different feeling than English words. Like, your English is great, you know, but some of those words don't have a depth of experience that they have within Farsi.
Yes.
So they're not maybe as deeply embedded. They're not going to hit you in the same way as a certain Farsi word will.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, because the background and the feeling you have from the words. And yes, it's just emotionally I feel more closer to the poem in Farsi. And I think even my like Iranian friends, they feel the same thing. Like sometimes when I share the English poem and the translation, they prefer the Farsi one, and it's because just
Yeah.
that's our words, that the
Yeah.
mother tongue language is still. I have my dreams in English now after I've been in Australia for almost 10 years, but maybe after like 4 or 5 years I started to have dreams in English, but still I think unconsciously I think definitely in Farsi, and it's deeply in me.
Yeah. 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 Oh, that's lovely to hear. All right.
Okay.
Well, that was my poem, and I hope you enjoyed that. And now we're going to move on to Persian classic. So now as a poet, I've known for years the Rubaiyat, and I've always heard of it. The Rubaiyat by Omar Khayyam, and I never knew how to say his name. I think I'm getting a bit closer, but I'm sure I'm not doing it perfectly. But and so I've always heard it, and it's actually, like, I was doing a little bit of research. We watched a little documentary on it last night that was fascinating, and it was just a massive seller. I think like 1880s and into the early 20th century. It was just massive in the English world, and it was basically one of the biggest poetry sellers at the time. So it's actually made a big mark within the Western world. And the documentary we watched last night, they were celebrating the 150th anniversary of that first translation into English that changed people's engagement with it so much, or opened up all this wisdom to the Western world and to the English-speaking
Maybe
language.
we should mention the name of the documentary, because it was from BBC World, and it calls Genius.
Oh, I don't remember. What was it?
Genius Khayyam. Yeah,
Right.
and it's like 50 minutes documentary, but if you are not familiar with Khayyam and his poetry, just it gives you like a good sense of what he is, what he was, and what he was doing.
Yeah.
And sorry for interrupting, but I'm gonna answer. Dan is saying, no, I don't sell my scarf. I'm sorry.
All right.
You can borrow it though.
You can buy my shirt. Do you want my shirt? I mean, gee. So first of all, why don't we even start with Rubaiyat? So what does Rubaiyat mean? Like, this is the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. So what does Rubaiyat mean?
Actually, Rubai is a kind of
Like a type of poem?
a type of poem in Farsi. So
Yeah.
Rubaiyat, it means like
A collection?
Yeah,
of...
a collection of Rubai. Like
Oh, okay. So it's Rubai, and the collection
Rubaiyat,
is...
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Rubaiyat Khayyam, and is
So yeah, this just says Khayyam, but often it's Omar Khayyam also. And often in English we talk about the quatrains, because there are always four lines, and they're all rhyming traditionally in the original, aren't
Yes,
they?
yeah.
Now there are translations that, and the famous translation of Edward Fitzgerald are rhyming, but he took a lot of liberties from the original to make them rhyme. Whereas this translation that I'm going to be sharing from is what they call more like a prose translation. So they occasionally are able to put a bit of rhyme in there, but they're more focused on getting the meaning correct. They're adding in rhythm, and they're sensitive to the form, but it's more about capturing the meaning rather than trying to capture the rhyme. Because once you start trying to capture rhyme in another language, you just have to use totally weird words or different words. Basically, it just doesn't work very well. So
I should say that as you know, Khayyam, he was a poet who lives like almost 900 years ago.
I think it's 900 years. That's what
and we're going to share a poem from 900 years ago. And as Cameron said, Fitzgerald the first time translated his poems. And I'm still so amazed how he's famous, and Rumi, of course, famous in the Western world.
Yeah.
And we go through this book, and I'm going to share the Farsi one, and
So basically, I read through, and like he has I basically just did a selection. I think we're just going to share 8 of the quatrains, or Rubai. Is that right?
Yes, Rubai.
Yeah, we're just going to do 8 of the Rubai, because in this book there's about, I think it's 100 in here. So I just read through, and I just wanted to capture a few I chose a few that captured his different themes, and because he does have really set themes that he really works to. So here we go, and we really hope you enjoy.
Okay.
I'll just get set up here. Can I just put my foot there?
Yeah, I might be close to
All
the
right.
microphone.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Here we go.
چون حاصل آدمی در این شورستان جز خوردن قصه نیست تا کندن جان، خرم دل آنکه زین جهان زود برفت واسوده کسی که خود نیامد به جهان. This is so nihilistic.
Since man's harvest in this salt desert is nothing but sorrows until the day he dies, happy is he who left this earth without delay. Blessed is he who never came into the world.
ای صاحب فتوا ز تو پرگار تریم، با این همه مستی ز تو هوشیار تریم. تو خون کسان خوری و ما خون رزان، انصاف بده کدام خون خوار تریم.
Oh, Mufti, we are more sensible than you. In spite of so much drunkenness, we are more lucid than you. You drink the blood of men. We drink the blood of vines. Be fair. Which of us is the more bloodthirsty?
Oh, that's one of my favorites. در کارگه کوزه گری رفتم دوش، دیدم 2000 کوزه گویا و خموش. ناگاه یکی کوزه برآورد خروش، کو کوزه گر و کوزه خر و کوزه فروش.
Last night, I went to the workshop of a potter. I saw 2,000 pots, some talkative, others silent. All of a sudden, one of them exclaimed in a high-pitched voice, "Where is the potter, the seller, and the buyer of yesteryear?" You weren't expecting that voice. It's a high-pitched voice.
Okay, next one. این بحر وجود آمده بیرون ز نهفت، کس نیست که این گوهر تحقیق نسفت. هر کس سخنی از سر سودا گفتند، زان روی که هست کس نمیداند گفت.
This ocean of being gushed out of the invisible. No one has pierced this pearl of the unknown. Each has pronounced an insane word, but its original truth, no one can tell.
مهتاب به نور دامن شب بشکافت. دریاب دمی خوشتر از این نتوان یافت. می نوش و میندیش که مهتاب بسی اندر سر گور یک به یک خواهد تافت.
With its rays, the moon has slit the skirt of the night. Seize this moment. You will not find any better. Drink wine and worry no more, for the moon will shine down on each of our graves, time after time.
And is this the last one?
It's got two more.
چون بلبل مست راه در بستان یافت، روی گل و جام باده را خندان یافت. آمد به زبان حال در گوشم گفت، دریاب که عمر رفته را نتوان یافت.
When the nightingale, drunk with love, reached the garden, he discovered the face of the rose and the wine cup smiling. He approached me, seeming to trill in my ear. Enjoy them. You will not find again what is lost in life.
Oh, this is definitely one of my favorites too. ساقی گل و سبز بس طربناک شده است. دریاب که هفته دگر خاک شده است. می نوش و گلی بچین که تا در نگری گل خاک شده است و سبز خاشاک شده است.
Oh, cupbearer, the roses and grass are so delightful. Enjoy them. In a week, they will turn to dust. Drink wine and pick a rose. Before long you will see the roses will turn to dust and grass to chaff. Wow. So there we go.
Yes, last one.
So,
Thank you so much, guys, for your comments. Just trying to...
ah,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for your all comments. And there we go. Yeah, tell us what you think. And yeah, I already saw a few comments, but especially, you know, I really want to just for those, they don't speak Farsi and they do not understand Farsi. Like, what do you feel with when I'm sharing Khayyam in Farsi?
Yeah,
How's
right.
the feeling? Is that different from last week's I was sharing Furuk, because that was a contemporary and totally different kind of poem, and this is such a like the ancient and old poem. So yeah, it's interesting just for me.
well, the thing that I was thinking about, so these poems were written, and essentially what you're reading there is the language that they were originally written in. Is that right? So,
Yeah.
but that's 900 years ago. Like, there's no poems that we can read from 900 years ago. Like, English didn't really even exist in that way. So, are you saying it's like Persian hasn't really changed in that way, or is it a modern Persian and people can still read the ancient Persian or something?
Definitely, we have words in Farsi now, like, you know, when we like daily conversation and dialogues, we use that. But most of the words he's using here, and we totally understand. And this is
Really?
the beauty of the poetry back in Iran. And it's still, you know, if you even if you approach a driver, maybe he's got a Khayyam in his pocket, just a normal person, random person in the street, they have they know Khayyam, they read Khayyam, and it's not necessarily they go deeply to the meaning and understanding. It's just like, you know, especially with Khayyam, we were talking about that, but you know how he's encouraging about drinking wine.
Yeah,
Drink
he's
wine.
always like, drink wine.
Drink wine, just enjoy the moment. He's got a few like hints for people always, like just drink wine.
Yeah.
Stay in the moment.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And it sounds really simple, but actually that's the thing. It's not that simple, because he was such a big person. I mean, like, he was such an intelligent person.
Yeah, well,
at the same
that's
time.
right. So here he was a poet, but actually his fame in his lifetime, he was an astronomer and he was a mathematician.
Yeah.
And he actually calculated the exact lunar year and solar year that the Persian calendar is still used. So he was basically an incredibly big intellect, and he brought this intellect. He'd obviously experienced so much, but I mean, my understanding is that it seemed as though he pretty much had what he wanted in his life. He had so much success, and he could do what he wanted in so many ways. But it seems as though he found the emptiness in that. That he realized, wait a sec.
In the end of the day.
Yeah, he had everything and things weren't there for him or something. So for me, like the very first one we shared, like, it was really nihilistic. It's just like,
it's really nihilistic.
It's better that you never even lived.
You
It's
took that?
161. So it's better that you never even lived. But I think when somebody says that, like, I know this as a poet, sometimes they don't literally mean it's better that you never lived. Sometimes a poem is an expression of a feeling. Like when we say, I want to die, often, we're not often saying, I want to commit suicide. We just go, everything feels too hard. I want to not exist for a moment.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably just want to sleep, so.
Not dying.
But so, I think even when I hear that first one, it's because what are those two lines? Yeah, happy is he who left this earth without delay. Blessed is he who never even came to the world. Now, you could just go, wow, so he's a complete nihilist and he believes non-existence is better. Or you could go, wow, he's having some big feelings right now and he's expressing the deep feelings of what it feels like when you feel so abandoned and...
You haven't had a good day.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably that poem that day, Khayyam.
He was like a bad day. He was like...
Cannot do it anymore.
There's like these astronomical calculations. We're like, I keep stuffing it up. And I'm like, how can I do this? Like, all right, I don't need to write a poem now. So...
Yeah, but I always feel really good about what his poems and his poetry.
So he's been really meaningful to you.
Yeah.
Why is Khayyam, even more than some of the other poets, been so meaningful to you?
For me, definitely, Khayyam is the first, if I'm going to pick from those,
the big classic poets.
Classic poets, he's my favorite. And I think the message of, live in the moment, take it easy, nothing going to happen, seriously.
Right.
And for me, it doesn't mean that stop working, stop just
Yeah.
stay at home and drink wine. It means you're doing all of this, but always keep it in your mind. It's nothing gonna happen. In past couple of years, 900 years ago, guys, this person was thinking the way we are thinking now. The dilemma, all the problems we have, and we just, in the end of the day, we're getting tired and say, wait a second, what's gonna happen in this crazy world? And this is amazing. Yeah. And I love it.
Well, I think for me, that's one of the incredible powers of poetry, that it actually just shows how common our human experience is.
That's
across
right.
cultures and across time. And I just on that, because look, I have read Khayyam in the past, but reading him really well, I'm actually new to. But what it reminded me of, as I was reading this, there was some bits as you know what? I know these thoughts and I know these sentiments. And there is it's an ancient Jewish literature. It's from the book of Ecclesiastes, which is in the Bible. And they think this was written about 3,000 years ago, or maybe 2,500 years ago. They're not even sure exactly who wrote it. Some people think the king of Jerusalem at that time. But sometimes they just say it's the teacher, and nobody knows exactly who that teacher is. But have a listen to this. I just want to read a tiny bit of this.
I'd love to. Yeah.
So it just says this. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What do people gain from all their labours at which they toil under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. So you can see, it's for me, it's exactly the same sentiment.
Yeah,
you're just right. And here's a person who's written maybe 2,500 years ago, and then this was written 900 years ago. And still now, so many people, probably right now on Facebook, are writing the same sort of thing, probably not quite so poetically, but that same sentiment. It's all meaningless. What's the point? Oh, everything just keeps going on the same. So, and for me, that's incredible strength. Wow, that's what poetry is about, capturing the emotional truths. And there are, we're all just human across the world.
And I like it in Khayyam's poem, another thing, the destiny and fate. He doesn't believe it in he's this is the world we're gonna end it up, and this is the world we're living now. Okay, even I think he's saying even if another world exists, you haven't seen it. You are alive and living in this world. You live your life. Just enjoy the moment. The moment. And it sounds really simple, but it's not simple. It's actually, because we don't do that. We say that take it easy, but we don't take it easy. We say that live in your moment, enjoy your time, enjoy your life.
Yeah.
But we don't do it. Like, and
But we're trying. Here we are, drinking wine.
for
Yeah.
Khayyam.
I'm drinking wine for
Salamati.
Khayyam. Well, I think we've had enough of a rant. We've been ranting on. But thank you. We've had a whole stack of people tuning in, which has been great to see, actually. It's really nice to see
and can
that.
I, before say goodbye, say something?
Yeah.
For those people, like, you know, in Khayyam as a Persian, as an Iranian poet, it's so interesting, like, because now Iran is Islamic country. So, and obviously Khayyam's poetry and his poems is just like, you know, talking about all like wine and
drinking
drink
wine.
wine, and it's such a like, what the hell are you talking about, drinking wine? Because we cannot drink wine. So, and it's so funny and interesting in the same time, like the government trying to just put it in that way, like, oh, this is not about drinking wine, he's talking about God. When he's talking about drinking wine, he means like God in the way, just like be close to, you know, just trying to relate to everything to God, and you know, just
Gee, wow.
it's just kind of,
So they
I
have to
was
do
like
some-
thinking it's interesting to
they have to
share
do
with you, but but because it's, I think because it's Khayyam, and you know, we have those others classic poets, they really deeply in the history and the culture of Iranians, and so, you know, they cannot do it, they cannot just take it out and remove it from the culture, and we're still like enjoying Khayyam, enjoying when he's saying Daryab dami ke ba tarab migozarad.
And what's that?
Enjoy the moment with wine, with drinking. And we're gonna tonight enjoy the moment with drinking, and thank you everybody for watching and listening us.
So thanks very much. I will actually just say what I do with this is then I actually edit it down. I put some really beautiful music that I've received from friends, some incredibly great musicians that have added some music, and then I produce it into a really nice little podcast. So even if you've heard this episode, you might like hearing the podcast too, because I add the music, I add sound design, and it actually sounds really beautiful and lovely. Or at least maybe that's something you could share with your friends. And of course, it's really good if you're subscribed to that podcast as well. And if you have a friend that might like this sort of thing, hey, tell them about it and share the word around. So this is the end of episode 4. Of the Persian and the Poet. The plan was apparently we've got 2 more weeks of stage 4 restrictions here in Melbourne, and we're going to do a live event for each Friday night. So we'll do at least 2 more live events, and then we'll sort of reassess. Go, do we want to keep doing live events? Maybe we'll just do a podcast. So maybe you could let us know what you like, or whether you're liking the live or just podcast would be good. Whatever. So
we're enjoying at the moment. We're really enjoying, and it's about just sharing poetry, sharing language, a bit culture, and see you guys, because we cannot see.
That's right. This is my way and our way of connecting and sharing things that we love, and hopefully you can appreciate them too. So, okay, let's do a salamati.